Hello and welcome to our presentation, Public Sector Survey Results and Top Industry Concerns, presented by Allen Gibbs and Hulick LC. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce you to our speakers. Our first speaker today is Mike Lowry. Mike helps direct a team of AGH professionals who specialize in government and not-for-profit entities. His experience includes nearly 20 years of financial and technology leadership positions. Mike has earned the designation of Certified Government Financial Manager from the Association of Government Accountants. He is a member of the AICPA Government Audit Quality Center, and he is also a member and frequent presenter of the Kansas, Missouri, Great Plains, and Texas Government Financial Officers Association. Our other speaker today is Brian Johnson. Brian is a technology executive and consultant with more than 30 years of experience. He has extensive expertise in IT risk advisory services and has earned the Certified Information Systems Auditor credential, as well as additional certifications in operations management, systems engineering, and solution development. I'll hand it over to Mike to start the presentation.
Good day, everyone. First, let me thank you for taking time to listen to our presentation today. We wanted to record it in advance so that you could listen to it on your own time and forward it along to others as you see fit. As our host mentioned, my name is Mike Lowry, and I am the practice leader of the public sector team here at AGH. AGH conducted a public sector survey in late November 2015 that asked participants to rate their top areas of concern going into 2016. We gave them different areas to rate on a scale that ranged from unconcerned to very concerned. Respondents included leaders from government and not-for-profit entities, mainly in Kansas, with a few in other states. If you have not already received a copy of the survey results and would like to, email me at mike.lowry@aghlc.com. Here are the top 5 concerns from the government leaders that surfaced from our survey: IT cybersecurity, overall economy, talent retention, ACA compliance, and management succession. Here are the top 5 concerns from our not-for-profit leaders: overall economy, talent recruitment, talent retention, FLSA overtime pay changes, and IT cybersecurity. Because IT cybersecurity was a top concern for both government and not-for-profit entities, and because AGH has been building up its expertise and capabilities in this area, we thought we'd spend some time talking specifically about this important issue. A recent study sponsored by Hewlett-Packard to quantify the economic impact of cyber attacks and observe cost trends over time in the public and private sectors in 6 countries and 250 organizations found the U.S. had the highest total average cost at approximately $15 million per incident. This represents a net increase over 6 years of 82%. According to Tech Insider, nearly 300 million records were leaked and 1 billion was stolen due to cyber attacks in 2015. Additionally, there were millions of attempts to attack into businesses, including everything from malware to payment fraud schemes. Experts don't believe 2016 will be any better. Because of this, we expect to see various types of cybersecurity measures in the public sector this year. Updating emergency response plans to better deal with the physical consequences of cyber attacks against critical infrastructure. These plans are designed to identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover from cyber attacks. Calls for coordination between chief information officers of governments and state and local departments of Homeland Security. Plans include recommendations to securing networks and data, standardized plans and procedures to deal with evolving threats, and best practices to prevent unauthorized access. Collaboration between the public and private sector. For example, The state of Indiana recently partnered with Intel Security to help them organize responses to cyber threats. Creation of new state agencies. The state of Washington, for example, recently created a state office of privacy and data protection in collaboration with the Department of Homeland Security. Cybersecurity audit initiatives in state and local governments across the country focused on identifying practices that improve the security of information, assess effectiveness of safeguards, and the ability to detect a breach and the planned response. At this point, I'll hand it over to Brian Johnson, our Senior Vice President of Technology Services, to talk more about cybersecurity and some things to keep in mind in the coming year.
Thanks, Mike, and thanks to everyone who participated in our survey. Cybersecurity risk is an important issue. It affects all of us, regardless of our industry sector, but it's critically important to governmental and not-for-profit entities given your unique set of challenges and the stakeholders you serve. So, what can you do to better manage your cybersecurity risk? Where do you start? My advice is to change your perspective, to think differently about cybersecurity risk. And the best place to start is with leadership. Your leadership must be consistently aware of and asking questions about your institution's cybersecurity risk. I really like Martin Greenberg's perspective. Mr. Greenberg is the current chairman of the FDIC, and this is what he says about cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is no longer just an issue for the IT department. Instead, it needs to be engaged at the very highest levels of corporate management. Cybersecurity has become an issue of the highest importance, not only at the FDIC, but for the FFIEC and its member agencies, as well as the federal government as a whole. Mr. Greenberg is speaking about our banking system in this quote, but substitute your agency and your stakeholders into this statement, and you'll see that it applies to you as well. In essence, Mr. Greenberg is saying, and I agree, that cybersecurity risk is organizational risk. Cybersecurity risk is organizational risk. And to effectively address that risk, you need commitment and involvement at the top. Does involvement require your leadership to have deep technical expertise? No, I don't think so. But they do need to understand the type and the nature of your risks. And they should know what questions to ask. For example, what information do you manage? Where is it transmitted, processed, and stored? How critical is it to the reliability of your processes and your service missions? How sensitive is it? Is privacy and confidentiality a requirement? What are your key organizational assets? What information, people, technologies, and facilities are critical to your operations? Are those assets adequately protected? What connections do you have? How are people and other systems connecting to your critical assets? How do those connections expose you to threats? Are you identifying and addressing your risks? If so, how are those risks being evaluated and communicated? Are you prepared to mitigate those risks? Which risks are most important? How do you monitor the effectiveness of your controls? And will you know when your risks change? And what about third parties? What risks are introduced each time you engage with a third party and grant them access to your critical assets? While this list isn't comprehensive, it is representative of the types of questions that your leadership should be asking. Why? Well, because cybersecurity risk is organizational risk. And I'd like to leave you with one more concept to consider. Good cybersecurity practices address three important areas: people, processes, and technologies. People, processes, and technologies. And an effective cybersecurity management system will include a balanced set of controls in each of these areas. And while all three areas are critically important, far too many headlines result from failures in our people controls. As Bruce Sneer, a noted security expert, likes to say, amateurs hack systems, professionals hack people. Amateurs hack systems, but professionals hack people. Why hack a system to get a password when you can simply call someone and ask for it? It's this type of weakness that underlies social engineering and hacking techniques like phishing. So, if you are concerned about your cybersecurity risk, but don't know what to do about it, start looking at your people practices. For example, are your IT professionals adequately prepared to address your cybersecurity needs? How are they staying current with best practices? Is cybersecurity training a component of their professional development? And is executive management committed to better cybersecurity? What about training? Do you have cybersecurity awareness and training programs? Are they mandatory? Do your employees know how to create and handle strong passwords? Do they understand the need for things like clean desk policies? And can they identify and respond appropriately to common social engineering attacks like phishing and business email compromise? Is cybersecurity an element of your HR practices? Do your employment agreements, for example, address the handling of private and confidential information? Do you reevaluate access rights when employees change roles or positions? And what about terminations? Does your process for terminating employees include steps that address and reinforce your expectations? And perhaps more importantly, the employee's obligations. How do you handle third parties? What risks are introduced each time you engage with the third party and grant them access to your critical assets? Are your third parties aware of your cybersecurity requirements? Are those requirements adequately addressed in your contracts? And how are you assuring that your third-party providers are complying with your cybersecurity requirements? Again, this isn't a comprehensive list, but I do think it's representative of the kind of questions that you and your leadership should be asking about your people practices. Why? Well, again, because cybersecurity risk is organizational risk. Now, if you don't have experience with cybersecurity risk, these issues can seem daunting at first, but please know that help is available. And please don't hesitate to reach out to Mike or myself if you have questions. With that, I'm going to turn it back to Emily so we can wrap up. Thanks.
Thanks, Mike and Brian. If you have any questions for Mike or Brian, please feel free to contact them using the information on the screen. Thanks again for listening in, and have a great day.